I used to think painting in watercolor was impossible. My colors bled everywhere, the whole painting went muddy, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't control where the paint goes. Then I discovered something that completely changed my approach: water control. Hi there, I'm Chie, and welcome to my channel. If you've ever struggled with watercolor, stick around because I will be painting Rome's Neptune fountain, putting these lessons and considerations I have learned over the years into practice. After messing up many times, I went back to basics and discovered that I needed to pay attention to the consistency of the paints I was mixing. Too much water and my colors were weak and uncontrollable. Too little, my brush barely moved. I don't have a good way to describe the consistency of paints, as I usually go by the resistance it has at the tip of my brush. But I find that the types of dairy consistencies, such as skim milk, heavy cream consistencies, described by artists like Michael Reardon, a good description. More water makes lighter, transparent colors, and less water gives you bold, intense pigment. Practicing to pay attention to these different paints consistencies helped me finally get most of the results I wanted. Another mistake I made was dipping my brush in water and going straight onto the paper without checking how much water was actually in the bristles. The simple fix is to dab your brush on a tissue or sponge before painting. It gives you control over the amount of moisture that is on the brush and helps avoid those unwanted puddles. The wetness of the paper is also important because it directly affects how the pigment spreads and blends. I now make it a habit to check the amount of moisture on the surface of the paper before rushing in with paints. If the surface is still shiny, it's still too wet. But once it turns matte, I could go in with paint and have a good idea what effects will turn out. Wet on wet creates soft, dreamy blends, great for misty skies and backgrounds. But if you want crisp edges, you need wet on dry. That is why I also don't always do a first overall wash at the beginning if I don't think the painting requires it. Another indispensable tool for controlling water is paper towels. When I put down too much water, I used to panic. Now I just blot it up with a paper towel or use a dryer brush to lift it off. Before, I fought against watercolor's natural movement, but now I have learned to work with it. Tilting your paper helps guide the paint where you want it, making it easy to create flow in your painting that you might not otherwise create with a brush. I used to layer paint too soon, which often resulted in muddy colors. I have since learned that allowing each layer to dry completely, whether naturally or with a hairdryer, makes a world of difference. I also used to think that once an area is painted, I couldn't touch it again without losing its luminosity. But now I see that glazing a layer of transparent paint over a dry layer can completely transform the mood of the painting. Once I understood these techniques and how to deal with water, everything clicked. Watercolor isn't about fighting the paint, it's more about learning to guide it. Although these considerations are gradually becoming second nature to me, I still have not completely mastered water control. But my paintings are starting to reflect my vision rather than becoming a complete mess. I think the process of working with water to create those paintings with stunning luminosity that we all love will be a lifelong process. And I hope my experience adds to your watercolor journey too. And here's the final painting for the Roman fountain. If you find this video helpful, consider subscribe for more watercolor tips and art adventures. And let me know in the comments what's your biggest struggle with watercolor. Thanks for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.